Okay, abusia yɛbɛma makɔ aba sonko so ɛde POG Media so abusia yɛmbonra ɛyɛ yɛnsɛm mu ɛyɛ suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo ECOWAS okoko pie no abusia adane nanim guaseɛ na nanim guaseɛ no sɛn ECOWAS judges for nankasa a expose ɛyɛ suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo big timer abusia asɛm no awerɛho Torkonoo na ono na so anasɛm na ɔde akɔpie mu ECOWAS no judges for na ankasa atena ase ehun sɛ maame no nye ɛfa some illegalities crime bi a wa create ɛwɔ Supreme Court hɔ ɛne nneɛma bi a wayɛ wɔ Supreme Court hɔ a ɛnam mmara kwa so na ɔno no ye removing a watam case na aba hɔ no judges for na ankasa abusua deal with ɛyɛ suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo ɛyɛ Solomon ne nkɔfoɔ aba my hot details about ECOWAS ne ho nsɛnsɛm mom yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔnkɔtie nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ na ECOWAS for judges ne sanso kyerɛ sɛ maame no case na watam aba hɔ no onwie ɔyɛ den a ɔbɛkɔ nti no ɔmmoa no ho mom yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔnkɔtie nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ so mɛda wanse
Justice Torkonoo. Yesterday, we saw that the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Remsai, posted on his socials that the Chief Justice of Ghana has filed a fresh application at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice in Abuja, Nigeria. And she is seeking redress for her suspension and the processes initiated for her removal. Now, this is the latest in a long legal battle since we first heard about the decision to suspend the Chief Justice. She cited many reasons. We saw a live press conference where she spoke about some violations and things that have not been done in accordance with the law. We don't have as much time to discuss this as we did the first topic. So I'm going to first go to our lawyer here just to find out, since we had this announcement, we've had comments back and forth about the fact that since she has not, let's say, exhausted all local remedies, she brought an action to the High Court, to the Supreme Court. Is it necessary for her to go to the ECOWAS Community Court in Nigeria when the local remedies have not been fully exhausted?
I've always maintained that I don't know the counsel that the suspended Chief Justice has. I saw somewhere that my respected senior, the former Attorney General, the one who was the
Godfrey Dame.
No, the one who was the ambassador to Canada, the High Commissioner to Canada, Ayukwe Otu was his her lawyer, very fine lawyer. I believe he will give all the advice. Now, as you rightly stated, the local remedies have not been exhausted. We have precedents. Justice Derry and the rest went to ECOWAS court. They were thrown out. Now, she's in court on human rights issues. She's at the High Court. That has not been determined. And you went to the ECOWAS court. Now, she's claiming, the Deputy Attorney General's writing, that the suspension effectively means she's been removed from office. Now, is she aware of something the rest of us are not aware of? I don't know. But the Constitution says that the President has that discretion to ask you to suspend the Chief Justice and reinstate the Chief Justice when the President feels it is okay for it to be done.
Let me just read that out to you.
Yeah.
Essentially, her ladyship argues that by her suspension, she has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination, impairing her rights to function and serve in the position she was constitutionally appointed to.
Yes, so it is the same Constitution that allows the President the discretion to suspend the Chief Justice pending the whole process. So where are we getting to with this thing? I am of the view, so she's in effect saying that she has been constructively dismissed. It is not right.
She's saying her suspension
looks like she's been
removes her.
Yes,
it
so
looks like
yes, so that's constructive from, dismissal or removal. That has not happened. So far, the procedure has been very good. Everybody, look, with the fight that the suspended CJ is putting up, and with this latest one, I'm asking myself, is she aware of something out of what has happened so far at the proceedings that we don't know? If that is the situation, then she should better tell us. But to go to, I believe strongly, and without any shred of doubt, that ECOWAS court will throw this out. Now, there are so much, the whole of chapter 5 of our Constitution is on human rights. That has not been exhausted. The Chief Justice has been given the right to fair hearing. Anything she has challenged at the Supreme Court of Ghana has been dismissed. So what is she going to stand on at the ECOWAS Court of Justice to say, this is the reason why I'm here?
Do you agree with some of her concerns? For example, she wants to be allowed to bring in her family or people to support her during the hearings. She should be served by the committee with a petition and so on. These are things that she's asked for.
You see, unfortunately, she responded to the petition when she asked for it and the president gave her 10 days. So it's the same petition, if my memory serves me right. So for you to go back now and say, give me the petition.
She doesn't dispute the fact that the president gives her.
So she wants a different petition?
Just to be sure that the petition that the committee is using is the same one that the president has given to her.
You know, and I know that when she goes for the committee's hearing, they will read whatever it is. She has a copy. She can compare with what they give her. So that is neither here nor there. The Constitution says that under Article 146, all proceedings here shall be held in camera. It doesn't make room for your husband or your wife. It doesn't. The purpose is not to protect...
What does in camera mean? I thought it's supposed to be private, so away from the press and people who are not concerned.
Exactly.
Does it also include people who are just there to support you?
No. How do we know who is there to support? Somebody else will come again. If I go there, I also want to support her. Would I be allowed? If Solomon goes that he wants to support her, will he be allowed? And there are 20,000 people going that we want to support her. Would they all be allowed?
Okay.
Would that still be in camera? No, in camera. Look, that clause does not lend itself to any ambiguity. It's very clear, straightforward. There's no ambiguity about that. It says that let all proceedings under this be held in camera. She has the right to a counsel. The counsel accompanies her. If the husband were her counsel, I will understand that your husband is your counsel to accompany you. You see, the in-camera hearing is not for just the person. It is for the witnesses, the committee members, etc. And that position is not her personal position. She will move on one day. She will move on, either by resignation, by removal, by retirement, whichever way, she will move on. But we don't have to set a precedent for which somebody else will fall on. But the bigger picture is that, you see, when we had a Tufuo versus Attorney General, the Supreme Court somehow protected one of their own. We have the Iban case. The Supreme Court somehow protected one of their own. We had the Aqua case. The Supreme Court somehow, that's what gave us to the Ajay Chum case. Now, this time we have a 3-2, we have a 4-1, we have a 5-0. Then you took your colleagues on to the Supreme Court. Now let's be serious here. If she comes back, granted she will come back. If she comes back, how easy will it be to work with the people you have been fighting? And you see somewhere along
it's within her rights to have,
it is.
Brought those
now,
actions.
The Bible says everything is allowed unto man, but the end is what justifies. You go to Supreme Court and they mention your name, that Her Ladyship Justice Araba Saki Torkonoo, by a clerk, and she turns to the judges and say that the applicant is here. The clerk that when you were in office, walking to your office, would have even been lying on the floor for you to walk on, now calls you. I mean, somewhere along the line, you must be saying that it's good to be brave, but on this occasion, I want to be a coward to preserve your dignity. That I would do. If I were a counsel, I would advise that certain parts of the fight are needless. Let's go for the real fight and leave the other periphery. But what we are seeing today doesn't look like that. Now, listen to what your viewers will be writing on this issue. When we begin to read, you begin to read, about 5 of them will want to know where this is heading. But I believe strongly that the ECOWAS court will throw out this application.
All right.
A word to the wise.
A word
so that's
to the
the third theory.
I'm trying to wrap my mind. Yeah, it's been a morning of theories and proverbs. But let's come to you, Solomon. What do you make of all of this?
So first of all, let us put it on record that the Electoral Commission, that's the commissioners, if they will go, they will not go because of politics. They will go because they are incompetent. It's as simple as that. You just alluded to the fact that they are not competent. So if they will go, what's the big deal about that? And you see, as a country, we must develop that culture of firing people when they are not performing. It must not be difficult. I've heard a lot of people say that it must be difficult to remove the Chief Justice. It must be the easiest thing to do.
Why?
Hey, so that when you go and have a recalcitrant Chief Justice, because it's difficult, then the person is there. In the same way it's easy to appoint, it must be easy to fire. As simple as that. When this matter started, I preferred an advice, a layman's advice. Theo and his people, they call themselves learned. We are unlearned.
Agree.
I sat here and I said, from my village sense, Madam,
Go.
just go and negotiate your exit. Take a cue from A. Fortas of the U.S. as Supreme Court judge and leave the scene.
You don't think she should fight?
What is she fighting for? She's all over the place. As we speak, she has a matter before the Supreme Court of Ghana. Are you aware of that? She has a matter before the High Court of Ghana. My own sister, Janet Nabla, I don't know her interest. She bought a flight from Accra to Kumasi, slept in a hotel, and went and petitioned the Otumfo on behalf of Justice Torkonoo. Now, would you use your own money to do that? Let's think aloud. Now she has moved the state to where? ECOWAS.
Abuja.
Abuja. I don't know those that are briefing here, whether they have history behind them. Abuja is not in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know Justice Walter Onojin? Justice Walter Onojin?
Who is that?
He was the Chief Justice of Nigeria in 2016. By 2019, Buhari had booted him out. The court of ECOWAS Community Court was very close. Abuja, in fact, he could walk to Abuja, walk to the ECOWAS Community Court and say, my rights have been violated. He processed it. Onojin said, I won't go anywhere. I have accepted. He fought it in court. In fact, in 2024, Onojin won the case at a peace court. I don't know who is advising. ECOWAS Community Court, only 2nd July. A very judge called Elian Pote, earlier retired magistrate court judge called Elian Pote. He's an Ivorian. You, after retiring, went back and said his rights were violated. And so the country, Ivory Coast, must pay a huge sum of money. They threw the case out like they were throwing it into the bin. They have even asked Pote to pay all the expenses for certain allowances and so for the judges. And with the ECOWAS court, when you go and lose, that's it. There is no room for appeal. Madam, for the last time, I'm saying come back home. Let's get the elders and negotiate.
At this stage, she cannot negotiate.
And everything is possible.
And at this stage, I think, in fact, from the very beginning, I've also said it. You remember, I said, no negotiation, go for it. Don't resign and don't negotiate anything. Don't.
She should go.
There is a concerted effort by people. Remember,
But you are taking my time.
You said don't resign.
Don't resign.
And don't do anything.
Let's fight it in court.
She should fight
Go
it in
ahead
court.
to the end.
You see, in our history,
Okay.
look,
Take it
Because
to the
wait,
very end. In fact,
in our history,
after the UN,
she can go anywhere. But let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Let's all finish.
So, granted, this woman even wins her legal battles. Will she be able to go back to the judiciary that she has bastardized? Now she is even impugning the integrity of her colleagues. Article 1468, what does it say? That all proceedings must be held in camera. This woman looked straight into you and our faces and flouted the constitution of this country. Lawless.
How did she flout it?
Don't speak in public about a matter that you are before.
Theophilus, does the Constitution say that the proceedings should be held in camera, or all matters regarding the issue?
But what did she come to do?
In camera?
No.
No, I'm asking about the legal position.
All proceedings under this article
should be held in camera. Does that include discussing the matter?
Yes, Ajay once said that the petition was published.
Okay.
That was why they held that it cannot go forward. And if you remember when Professor Kwaku Asare petitioned Nana Akuffo Addo, one of the reasons why Nana Akuffo Addo, the former president, dismissed that was that he published the petition.
Absolutely.
So the press conference which was held was flouting a constitutional
Exactly.
provision.
Absolutely. But now he should have been
without-
cited for contempt.
Not only content, it's even enough grounds for another petition. For her
Absolutely.
removal.
No, so if that matter is not dealt with, any matter that is in court, I'll be commenting on it because she has opened the floodgate. That is the Chief Justice of the land. We go before these courts and we submit ourselves to them because they are there by virtue of the operation of the Constitution. So if the Constitution says don't do A, B, C, D, and you come and do it, now who is speaking for the committee members? Now we are missing a certain point. We are treating this matter as though those that petition, they don't know their left from right. I have said a countless number that Mr. Daniel Ofori is not an easy-go person in this country. I don't think more than half of Ghanaians have more investment in this country than Mr. Ofori for him to be used for do someone's bidding. He invests in businesses in this country, and he will be the first person to wish for the cleanup of the judiciary. But when we are talking about this matter, as though they went on the street and looked for people who would just go and petition and get the Chief Justice out of the place. Madam, if you are not going to take my advice, just go and face the committee. All the legal issues that you are raising. If a due lodge is not good for you, they can find another place. And by virtue of that, if the committee also accepts, I have said that any time that I go to the High Court, my great-great-grandfather, Nanedu, he had a terrible incident where the High Court is. So anytime I'm called to go to that court there, and I remember that I'm shaking. But I can't do anything about it. I've been called. The woman said the husband was not allowed into the hall. So that is enough grounds. Yes, maybe when the husband is not by her, she cannot deliver. But the question you ask yourself is that anytime she is writing her rulings, is the husband by her?
Or anytime she's sitting at the Supreme Court.
Is the husband by her? No, we cannot trivialize some of these matters. That she was searched. Whenever you are going to a security zone, are you not your phones taken? Are your phones not taken from you? Are you not searched? When we are even traveling out of this country, sometimes we don't take it. They will even remove your boxes because of Osama bin Laden. So please, let us not trivialize this matter. If she means to do business and go, and at this stage, if she wants to go, I'm here. As for lawyers, they know how to write, they know how to petition. You go. But at the end of the day, you would understand why it is always good to take a bow, early bow.
All right. Dr. Zato.
Thank you. You know, this one I think I should be a soothsayer or something. I should be a soothsayer because it's like I have the power to see things.
You have another theory?
Yeah, I've stated it here again. Every time I stated here categorically that the Chief Justice was a means to an end. The end being the removal of the Electoral Commission officials. I've stated that here. And people can Google and listen. I said that she was in the way. In fact, my theory actually was that the president was not in favor of removing the Chief Justice, but that the hawks within the NDC have won. And that she's moving here just to get to the officials. Today, the CJ, and I also sat here and I said that the CJ said gone. I've said that again, it's on air, that she's gone. That the only reason why she will go back to the office is probably she forgot her purse or her phone charger there. She's going to pick it. If not, she's not going. I've also said that here. Now, remember what I said, that probably a force so big probably forced the EC official to buckle and to bend over. This is the force. The force will read the leave line like, this man is gone. And then we are next. The EC official are like, this man is gone and we are next. So they now agree that let's play ball, let's bend over, let's flip-flop to save our jobs. Too late. Because that is how it's all coming. Because the woman is basically saying that, going to ECOWAS court to say that, I'm gone, I'm not coming back. The EC officials have seen it like, okay, she's gone, she's not coming back. So let's try to play ball. And that is what I'm saying. Where is the integrity? Where is the fairness? Where are the principles? I've also said that I believe in this woman's fight. I believe we should go to the farthest. In fact, shouldn't just stop. They should go to the UN. If it is possible, if there's any forum, we should go there. And talking about the UN, you did see the story that Ghana abstained from voting for the UN Council on gay rights?
In fact, that is not what happened.
It's a UN Council.
Again, you said that they abstained from extension of the mandate of the independent expert on gender, children, and human rights. Not on LGBT. Let's get it with that.
That office was created to protect LGBTQ rights all over the world. That is the purpose of that office. It was created to promote and to protect the interests of LGBTQ community all over the world. I agree with you. It's a special counsel.
Back to the matter.
If you are a country that you so oppose this, why don't you have the moral courage to stand and vote and raise your hand and say no? Or why don't you say yes? Why abstain? In times of great moral crisis, the deepest places of hell are left for those who remain uncompetent, who claim neutrality.
Back to the matter.
Thank you. So my theory or my final end is this. The woman has agreed that she's gone. She knows she's gone. The EC officials are reading the leaflets and they also
Did she tell you that she agreed?
No, I've told you that I'm reading the leaflet. We all see that. I'm just saying that. But
yes,
just as you can.
So she hasn't agreed that she's gone?
No, she's fighting. Well, what she's saying is that her suspending basically means she's not going back. That's what she's literally telling the ECOWAS court.
So that is why she's seeking redress.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I have sat here and have said categorically that she's gone. I've said it. I hope it's not in contempt of the process, is it?
No.
Okay, good. No. So long as it's not, I'm allowed to express, Solomon, nobody wants to go to jail. I don't want to get, hey, committee says you've done. No. So that's my argument. That's my theory. That this is, and then coming events cast their shadow. And sometimes they can cast very long shadows. So anybody that sits down and say, if the EC can, if the CJ chair can be removed, if the CJ is being removed, then what about us? When you go to the forest and you see the stones burning, you don't stand to ask what happened or what has happened to the trees. Thank you.
Okay, so the stones here being the EC?
Okay, I was going and some a course or our political highway. So a year suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo. CCRD waka infimfina onim se or bagana se or call nanimu. On who dear onion on ya, but I must say some of Japan cocotiza and some way at my aha a POG Media.